There are women who grow older in years, yet somehow remain untouched by the heaviness that life places on others. Their face may show wisdom, but not bitterness. Their eyes may have seen disappointment, but they still carry light. They may have suffered, lost, waited, been betrayed, misunderstood, and forced to begin again. Yet something within them remains remarkably alive. People often ask them, "What is your secret? How do you still look so young? What do you do differently?" But the answer is rarely found in a bottle, a diet, or a mirror. The deepest form of youth is not created on the skin. It is created within the spirit. A woman can take great care of her body, eat well, exercise, and follow every beauty routine. These things may help, but there is another quality that cannot be purchased, injected, or copied. It is a rare spiritual quality. It is the ability to remain inwardly alive, because many people do not age only because time passes. They age because they carry what should have been released. They carry resentment for 20 years. They replay old betrayals every morning. They remain emotionally attached to people who have already left. They fight with the past in their minds until the past begins living inside their body. And slowly, without realizing it, they become heavy. The rare woman who seems younger than her age learns a different way. She learns how to let life pass through her without allowing everything to remain inside her. She feels deeply. But she does not live forever inside every feeling. She experiences pain. But she does not build a permanent home inside it. She loses people, but she does not lose herself with them. And this is where her youth begins, not in the face, in the freedom of her spirit. One of the rarest forms of strength is knowing how to let go without allowing the heart to become hard. Many people believe that pain makes them stronger, but this is not always true. Sometimes pain simply makes a person more guarded, more suspicious, and more distant from life. A woman may be hurt once and spend years building walls around herself. She may tell herself that she is protecting her heart, but slowly those walls begin to block not only pain, but also love, joy, trust, and peace. She becomes safe from disappointment, but she also becomes disconnected from the beauty of being fully alive. The woman who carries this rare spiritual quality learns a different lesson. She understands that letting go does not mean pretending that nothing happened. It does not mean denying the pain or forgetting the person who caused it. It means accepting that some experiences cannot be changed, some answers may never come, and some people may never become who you hoped they would be. There comes a moment when continuing to hold on gives you nothing except more suffering. And in that moment, letting go becomes an act of self-respect. She stops replaying the same memory every night. She stops imagining different conversations that could have changed the past. She stops waiting for an apology that may never arrive. She stops carrying the emotional weight of someone who has already moved on with their life. This is not because she suddenly stops caring. It is because she finally understands that her peace is too valuable to remain connected to a moment that is already gone. There is a difference between remembering a lesson and remaining imprisoned by the experience that taught it. The lesson should stay. The wisdom should stay. the stronger boundaries should stay. But the emotional poison does not need to stay forever. Anger can teach you what you will no longer tolerate. Betrayal can teach you the importance of trust. Loss can teach you the value of presence. Pain can teach you how deep your strength truly is. But once the lesson has been learned, continuing to carry the pain becomes unnecessary. Many people age from the inside because they keep carrying emotions that belonged to another chapter of their life. Every old argument still lives inside their mind. Every betrayal still controls their mood. Every person who hurt them still has access to their emotions. And without realizing it, they allow the past to continue taking energy from the present. But the woman who knows how to release becomes lighter. She does not need revenge to feel free. She does not need everyone to understand her side of the story. She does not need to prove how deeply she was hurt. She simply reaches a point where she decides that the experience will no longer control her inner world. She can walk away without hatred. She can forgive without inviting the same person back into her life. She can remember what happened without feeling the same pain every time she remembers it. This is emotional maturity. This is spiritual strength. And perhaps this is why some women seem younger than their age. They do not carry every year of their life as a burden. They do not allow every painful experience to become another layer of heaviness inside them. They release what no longer belongs to them. They keep the wisdom and leave behind the weight. Their secret is not that life has been easy. Their secret is that they learned not to carry everything forever. A woman who carries this rare spiritual quality understands that inner peace is more valuable than the image she presents to the world. Many people spend years trying to control how others see them. They want to appear successful, attractive, strong, happy, intelligent, or important. They carefully manage their words, their appearance, their relationships, and even their emotions because they are afraid of being misunderstood. But living for an image can become an invisible prison. The more you need others to see you in a certain way, the more power you give them over your peace. A spiritually mature woman begins to free herself from this burden. She understands that not everyone will like her. Not everyone will understand her choices. Some people will judge her without knowing her story. Others may misunderstand her silence, question her decisions, or create opinions based on very little information. But she no longer feels responsible for correcting every false impression. She knows that constantly defending yourself can become exhausting. There is a time when a woman realizes that peace is more powerful than explanation. She no longer enters every argument simply because someone invited her into one. She no longer feels the need to respond to every insult. She does not waste her energy trying to convince people of her worth. She understands that some minds have already decided what they want to believe, and no amount of explanation will change them. Instead of chasing understanding from everyone around her, she learns to remain grounded in what she knows about herself. This does not mean she becomes careless about her actions. She still values integrity. She still wants to live honestly and treat people well, but she stops allowing the opinions of others to control her emotional state. She knows the difference between constructive criticism and unnecessary noise. One can help her grow. The other only steals her attention. Many women become emotionally tired because they are always performing. They smile when they are exhausted because they do not want anyone to think something is wrong. They remain in relationships that hurt them because they are afraid of what people will say if they leave. They chase success because they want to prove something to others. They stay silent when they should speak because they fear being disliked. Slowly, they begin living according to expectations that were never truly their own. But a woman who protects her inner peace begins asking herself a different question. What is this costing me inside? Before she agrees to something, she considers the emotional price. Before she enters another conflict, she asks whether it deserves her energy. Before allowing someone close to her, she pays attention to how their presence affects her mind. She becomes more aware that peace is not only something you find, it is also something you protect. She learns that boundaries are not selfish. Distance is not always cruelty. Silence is not always weakness. Sometimes the strongest decision is to step away from situations that continuously disturb your spirit. She understands that she cannot control how others behave, but she can decide how much access they have to her inner world. This quality creates a calmness that people can feel. Her face is not constantly tense from trying to please everyone. Her mind is not always occupied with proving herself. Her heart is not exhausted from carrying the expectations of people who do not truly understand her. She becomes quieter, but not smaller. She becomes more selective, but not bitter. She becomes peaceful, but not powerless. And this inner peace gives her a different kind of beauty. It cannot be created through appearance alone, because it comes from a woman who has finally stopped fighting every battle she encounters. She has learned that her energy is sacred, her attention is valuable, and her peace should not be exchanged simply to maintain an image in the eyes of others. One of the most beautiful qualities a woman can carry is the ability to remain amazed by life. Many people grow older, but somewhere along the way, they also become emotionally closed. They stop noticing the small things. They stop becoming curious. They stop asking questions. They stop believing that something new, beautiful, or meaningful could still happen to them. Life becomes a routine of responsibilities, disappointments, and repeated days. Their body continues moving forward in time, but their spirit slowly becomes tired. A woman who seems younger than her age often protects something different within herself. She keeps her sense of wonder alive. She understands that youth is not only connected to the body. There is also a youthfulness of the mind and spirit. It exists in the ability to look at something familiar and still see beauty in it. It exists in the willingness to learn something new. It exists in the courage to remain curious even after life has given you reasons to become cynical. She does not believe that she already knows everything. She does not allow her past experiences to convince her that life will always remain the same. Instead, she remains open. She can still be surprised. She can still change her mind. She can still discover something about herself that she never knew before. This openness keeps her connected to life in a way that routine alone never can. Think about the difference between a person who wakes up and immediately sees only what is wrong, and a person who can still notice something beautiful. The same morning may exist for both of them. The same sky may be above them, the same world may surround them. But one person sees only repetition, while the other sees another opportunity to experience life. The woman who keeps her sense of wonder does not need extraordinary circumstances every day to feel alive. She may find beauty in the sound of rain, in a quiet morning, in a meaningful conversation, or in the simple feeling of being present. She does not rush past every moment as if life is only something to survive. She allows herself to notice, and noticing is a form of spiritual presence. When you stop noticing life, you begin living automatically. You wake up, complete your responsibilities, repeat familiar thoughts, and move through the day without truly experiencing it. But when you pay attention, life begins to reveal itself differently. You start seeing details that were always there. You become more grateful for simple moments. You begin understanding that beauty is not always hidden in extraordinary events. Sometimes it is quietly waiting inside ordinary ones. This woman also continues learning. She is not embarrassed to be a beginner. She does not allow age, fear, or the opinions of others to convince her that it is too late to discover something new. She may learn a new skill, explore a new idea, read something that challenges her beliefs, or step into an experience she once thought was not meant for her. This willingness to grow keeps the mind flexible, and a flexible mind carries a different energy. It does not become trapped in old beliefs simply because they are familiar. It does not resist every change because change feels uncomfortable. Instead, it asks, "What can I learn from this?" This question is powerful because it keeps the spirit moving. A woman who continues learning does not become emotionally frozen in one chapter of her life. She allows new experiences to shape her. She allows wisdom to replace old assumptions. She allows herself to evolve without feeling guilty for becoming different. There is also joy in this quality. A woman who keeps her sense of wonder does not lose the ability to laugh deeply. She does not believe that being mature means being serious every moment of the day. She can carry responsibilities without allowing responsibilities to destroy her ability to feel light. She understands that playfulness is not childishness. Joy is not immaturity. Laughter is not a distraction from life. Sometimes these are the very things that remind you that life is still happening within you. She does not close the doors of her spirit simply because she has been disappointed before. She remains careful, but she does not become completely closed. She has seen pain, but she still allows beauty to reach her. She has experienced loss, but she does not believe that every connection will end the same way. She has made mistakes, but she does not decide that failure means she should stop trying. This is the balance she learns to carry. She becomes wiser without becoming cynical. She becomes careful without becoming fearful. She becomes mature without losing her ability to feel amazed. And this is why her spirit continues to carry a kind of youth. The years may pass, her life may change, and her experiences may become deeper, but there is still something within her that remains awake. She still looks at life as if there may be something more to discover. A woman who carries this rare spiritual quality understands that the past is a chapter of her life, not the complete story of who she is. She may have experienced betrayal, rejection, failure, loss, or disappointment, but she refuses to allow those experiences to become the only way she sees herself. Many people remain emotionally connected to an old version of themselves because they continue repeating the same story in their minds. They define themselves by what happened years ago. They say, I am broken because someone hurt me, or I cannot trust because I was betrayed. Slowly, a painful experience becomes an identity. But a woman with a youthful spirit learns to separate herself from what happened to her. She understands that being rejected does not mean she is rejection. Being abandoned does not mean she is unworthy of love. Making a mistake does not mean she is a failure. Going through a difficult period does not mean her entire future must remain difficult. Experiences can shape a person, but they do not have to permanently define the person she becomes. This requires courage because the past is familiar. Even when it was painful, there can be a strange comfort in remaining connected to it. An old identity may feel safer because it is known. Becoming a new version of yourself requires uncertainty. It requires releasing the stories you have repeated for years. It requires accepting that you may no longer be the same woman you once were. She allows herself to change. She allows old beliefs about herself to disappear. She stops carrying labels that no longer belong to her. Perhaps she once believed she was too weak, too quiet, too damaged, or too late in life to begin again. But she begins questioning these thoughts. Who told her that she must remain the person she was during her worst moment? A spiritually strong woman understands that growth sometimes requires the death of an old identity. The woman who always needed approval may need to disappear so a more confident woman can emerge. The woman who was afraid to be alone may need to change so she can discover her own strength. The woman who allowed others to define her may need to let go of that version of herself before she can finally hear her own voice. This does not mean she denies her history. She remembers what she has survived. She honors the lessons. She recognizes how far she has come, but she does not continue living inside rooms that she left years ago. She understands that every morning gives her another opportunity to meet herself differently. She can respond differently. She can choose differently. She can believe differently. She can become different. And when a woman gives herself permission to continually become new, she carries a powerful kind of inner youth. Her body may collect years, but her spirit does not remain trapped in the past. She continues moving, learning, releasing, and transforming. She understands one powerful truth. The past may have introduced her to pain, but it does not have the authority to decide who she must become next. A woman who carries this rare spiritual quality does not wait for life to become perfect before allowing herself to feel joy. She understands that there will always be something uncertain, unfinished, or beyond her control. If she waits until every problem disappears, she may spend her entire life postponing happiness. Instead, she learns to notice what is still beautiful. A peaceful morning, a meaningful conversation, a moment of laughter, a quiet walk, or even a few minutes of silence can become enough to remind her that life is still happening. She does not deny her struggles. She may carry responsibilities, experience disappointment, or face difficult seasons, but she refuses to give pain complete control over her inner world. She understands that joy and difficulty can exist at the same time. This ability to return to the present keeps her spirit light. She stops living only in yesterday's regrets or tomorrow's fears. She gives her attention to the moment in front of her. She learns to be grateful without pretending everything is perfect. She learns to smile without needing permission from life. And she understands that true inner youth comes from remaining emotionally alive, finding small reasons to appreciate life, and refusing to let temporary storms steal her ability to feel joy. So, if you want to understand why some women seem younger than their age, look beyond the mirror. Look at what they carry within. Look at the peace they have learned to protect. Look at the pain they have learned to release. Look at the past they have refused to live in forever. Look at the curiosity they have protected. Look at the joy they still allow themselves to feel. Their secret is not that time has been kind to them. Their secret is that they have not allowed life to harden everything within them. They have learned how to experience pain without becoming pain. They have learned how to lose without losing themselves. They have learned how to let go without becoming cold. And they have learned how to grow older without allowing their spirit to become old. Because true youth is not the absence of wrinkles. It is the presence of life within you. It is the ability to wake up and still believe that something beautiful can happen. It is the courage to begin again. It is the strength to forgive what must be released. It is the wisdom to protect your peace. It is the freedom to stop carrying what no longer belongs to you. So do not spend your life trying to fight time. Time will continue moving. The years will continue passing. But you can decide what those years leave inside you. You can carry bitterness, or you can carry wisdom. You can carry resentment, or you can carry peace. You can remain trapped in who you once were, or you can allow yourself to become new. Every day, you are given another chance to release something that has become too heavy. Another chance to protect your inner world. Another chance to choose peace over proving yourself. Another chance to notice the beauty that is still around you. And perhaps this is the rare spiritual quality that keeps a woman timeless. She remains open. She remains curious. She remains peaceful. She remains capable of joy. Life may change her face, but it does not have to close her spirit. And as long as there is light in her eyes, peace in her heart, and wonder in her soul, there will always be something within her that remains young, not because she escaped time, but because she learned how to live without letting time take the most beautiful part of her away.